Call of Duty Vanguard has widely been regarded as the worst Call of Duty ever made in the modern era. Now, I want to know why, so I did some research and I formulated some of my own opinions as well to find out why Vanguard was actually so bad. I've come to some three main points really, so I've got gameplay, content and zombies. I'm going to start with some gameplay. I think, for me personally, the camo grind on Call of Duty Vanguard is horrible. Like, there's nothing that stands out about atomic camo that makes me want to get it, and plus the challenges themselves on the guns are absolutely stupid. I don't think Sledgehammer realise that the reasons Modern Warfare 2019, Warzone and Cold War were so popular is because there was a pandemic and it's all people were playing, and people had so much time on their hands so they could do all these challenges like Damascus, like Obsidian and Dark Ether and DM Ultra. People had time on their hands so they could actually do that. Whereas on this game, life has gone back to normal, so unless you're like a YouTuber or something, there's less time for you to grind the game and actually put the time into getting the camos. On top of that, the DLC guns, in my opinion, absolutely smoke all the other guns out of the water on this game. Like, I'm using the Blixen here because, say, the Sten and the Type 100, they're not really usable. The only SMG I say is somewhat usable is the MP40 and probably the M1928. But even that being said, they've got nothing on the DLC guns, so they've literally made a game where it's so important to unlock the DLC guns, and that's the only incentive that's really on this game. Another thing with the gameplay is I personally think the maps are terrible. When the game first came out, I think everyone was really excited that there's going to be 16 maps at launch, and you know, because we only had 8 on Cold War, which was like really boring, but instead of getting 16 good maps, we got maybe 5 or 6 good maps, and there's no great maps. Like, there's nothing that makes me think like Standoff or Raid from past Call of Duties. You know, there's nothing like that on this game, and it's kind of sad really. And another thing is, I think this game is very lazy. Where what I mean by that is that it's literally just a reskin of Modern Warfare 2019, but somehow they've made it worse, which I don't get personally. Like, how can you have an engine that works? Well, that's obviously a subjective opinion, but you've got an engine that, you know, it is liked by the majority of the fan base, but you've made it feel worse and play worse than the other game. To me, that doesn't really make sense. And another thing with the gameplay is that the visibility is so poor. Like, on the massive maps, I'm talking Red Star and like Paradise and Oasis, the visibility is so poor. Unless you're playing exposed, the visibility is poor. Like, it's unreal really how poor the visibility is. Even on Das House, you know, I think it's because the game is so dark and like the maps are very bland. Like, there's nothing that stands out about this about this game that's like, oh my god, it's really colourful. Sort of like Cold War was really colourful in my opinion, and Black Ops 4 was really colourful. The Infinity Ward games, in my opinion, are always more bland than the Treyarch games. Treyarch make visually engaging games, whereas although Infinity Ward have the better graphics, the actual vibrancy of the maps isn't quite there for me personally. So, another thing is, there's no reward for playing this game, in my opinion anyway. You unlock a DLC gun, you get to rank 70, boom, there you go, there's your reward. It doesn't feel as rewarding as past games. Like, the prestige system is the prime example. Like, I know we've had this system for a few years now where it resets every season. I personally don't think it's the way to go. I've been playing season, I think we're on 4 now. I've been playing season 4 quite a bit lately, and I'm sort of sad at the fact that this is the first season I've got Prestige Master on, and I'm just going to go back to level 1 in Season 5 when that comes out. So there's that like initial reward of, yay, I've reached Prestige Master, and then you sort of get hit by the fact that your reward isn't going to stay there like it did in previous games. Like, you can get level 1000 and you're level 1000 for the rest of the game. It's not like that on the past 3 games, which I think sucks, and it should really be reverted. Like, it should go back to how it used to be. And my last point for the gameplay is that there's a lot of customization, right? But it doesn't feel like there is. What I mean by that is, if you take Advanced Warfare, for example, the customization levels were off the charts. Like, you could do so much customizing. Whereas on this game, yes, you can buy skins and you can equip different operators, and you could argue there's a lot of customization there, but there's also a lack of it because you can't personalize your character, which I think is a really big mistake on the part of like Activision and the developers, like going to operators. It doesn't make sense to me, and it should honestly go back to how it used to be. Now, content, we get the same playlists every week. So what I mean by that is we'll get Ship House, and which is literally the only thing you can play. Like, everything else on Vanguard kind of sucks. So you get Ship House, and then they get rid of the best the best playlist, like Exposed, and then they bring it back occasionally. Like, when Exposed came out for the first time, it was the most fun I've had on Call of Duty Vanguard since it came out. I mean, I got an atomic on Exposed, and I suppose I'm a little bit biased towards it, where it's where I got my Nukon, but it genuinely was so much better. Like, it helped me get diamond camo because I could get long shots a lot easier. And when they took it out, it was just like, why? You've got the fan base back loving your game just to get rid of the mode that people were loving. Another thing with content is that the map remakes, in my opinion, they've been done before. So you got Sphere, which is Dome on NW3, which remade on Ghosts, and they've brought that back, and they've done it worse, which I don't get it. Like, they've brought back Dome as well, and I feel like that plays worse than the original Dome. That's probably just nostalgia talking. I loved playing Dome on World at War when I did play World at War. But yeah, on Vanguard it just doesn't feel right because the spawns are probably the worst spawns we've ever had in Call of Duty. And other maps just shouldn't have been remade in the first place, like USS Texas. Like, that was the worst game on World War II, but they decided to bring it back, which I don't get it. And I mean, the lack of good content really has just meant that players don't want to come back to the game. Like, there's no incentive to play it. And not only has there been a lack of content, the content has been delayed as well. Like, if you remember, Season 1 was delayed by quite a few weeks, which shouldn't be happening on a game like Call of Duty. Like, you shouldn't have delayed releases. You know, we used to get map packs on time. Well, I mean, in the last 2 games we've had the seasons on time. I don't know why they couldn't do it on Vanguard. And obviously the big one is rank play was delayed until, I think it was December or January. I can't quite remember because I wasn't keeping tabs on the game like that. Now, zombies. The base zombies experience on Call of Duty Vanguard was absolutely dreadful. Like, Treyarch did a really good job with zombies on Cold War, in my opinion. And I mean, it's the general consensus of a lot of people, really. Like, when you look back at it, they did a really good job with zombies. And on this game, they've just taken what was so good and they've absolutely killed it stone dead, which I don't get how you can do that. And the fact that there was no round-based map at launch left players going back to Cold War rather than playing the newest Call of Duty title because they want to play a good Call of Duty game. I think, for me, on Vanguard, what kills it is the perk system. It's awful. Like, Vanguard, in my opinion, should have adopted the Cold War perk system, as it was simple, new, and traditional at the same time. Like, it helped new and old players sort of enjoy the game. And Shino Numa, like, it's been done already. Like, how have they managed to make it worse this time round? I mean, that's just subjective. I think it's worse. And because of how bad Zombies is on Vanguard, there's no incentive to play past round 20. Like, I played by myself, got to round 21, I was like, I'm exiting because it was boring. And, I mean, there was no wonder weapon or, like, a ray gun until Season 4, which meant there was, like, nothing making you want to play for ages, and, like, most of the weapons become unusable after a certain number of rounds. So I just didn't really get what Sledgehammer and Treyarch were trying to do with Zombies on this game. Like, it didn't sit right with me, and it just didn't make sense. Now, I've got some stats about Vanguard and, like, some quotes from the internet. Eurogamer said that it's a fun filler that won't live long in the memory, stating there's nothing wrong or bad or off-putting in this return to World War II, but Vanguard does nothing exceptionally, and the return to World War II is a boring choice of setting, which I think it captures the feelings of most of the community. Like, we didn't want another World War II game because it's been done so many times in the past. And yeah, so on Reddit, someone said, I've never felt so cheated out of money before. It was fun for the first 2 weeks, and after that I haven't enjoyed it since. This game is absolutely fucking atrocious. It looks awful, it feels awful, it's tiring to play, and no one I know wants to play it. I don't understand why or how a game this bad was ever allowed to be published. Which I feel many can agree with, because the past 2 games have felt like we've been given betas that have just been updated to become a full game. Whereas I think Vanguard is still in that beta phase, and its life cycle's almost over, which I don't get. Gfinity said that Activision says its decline in sales is due to the World War II setting, resulting in the franchise's player count dropping by 50 million players. I repeat, 50 million players in the last 12 months. So, there you go. I mean, it's sort of confirming that Call of Duty is going in the wrong direction and sort of dying off because of how bad this game is. Games Chronicle said Activision's latest Call of Duty title, Vanguard, reported 36% fewer sales than its predecessor, Black Ops Cold War, in the UK last year. That's according to new software sales data from GSD, reported by Games Industry Biz, which follows an earlier VGC report that Vanguard's UK launch was the lowest of any series entry in the modern era. Now, that speaks 1,000 words in my opinion. But yeah, in my opinion, like, Sledgehammer have delivered a mixed bag from the titles. Like, Advanced Warfare was great, World War II was mid, and this is arguably the worst game we've ever received. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know your opinions on Vanguard. Like, tell me what you want to see from Modern Warfare 2 as well. Let me know if you've been enjoying Vanguard, and if you disagree, just tell me. I really want to know your guys' opinions. So yeah, as ever, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, it helps a bunch. Make sure you turn on the notification bell as well, so you never, ever, ever miss an upload. And until next time, have yourselves a wonderful day. Goodbye, guys.